What's going on, guys? Hey, welcome into the program. Radio broadcast starting here in just a couple minutes, trying to get everything up and going. Also, getting a hold of our guest here momentarily. We have two guests today lined up, one kicking off live right at the top of the show. Jeff Winningham, he is author of the book A Trail of Marvels. Yesterday was Halloween. Today is the Day of the Dead, the Mexican holiday. So we'll talk about that coming up right off the bat. Got a big show lined up for you today. Also, healthcare literacy. Are you aware of healthcare options for yourself and not getting into massive amounts of crazy healthcare debts? We got a lot of things to get to. Hang tight as we try and get a hold of our guest. Standing by.
2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast.
All right, there we go. Not able
30
to.
seconds
Oh, there we
till
go.
broadcast.
Thank you, Mrs. Voice of Reason. Not able to get a hold of Jeff Winningham right now. So we'll just kind of ride along. Plenty of things to talk about today, so don't you worry about it. Don't you fret, my friends. If you are on the social media, what's up, guys? We're getting everything liked out and shared out. Like it, share it, leave a comment, say hi. Let's talk. Let's chat, my friends. Going to be a big show today, so hang tight as we get things
5,
up and going.
4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Fighting for freedom every day.
You as the individual, you have the power. You don't have to join a union. You go in as an entry-level position. You get the experience that you need. And then as you work up, you get better at your job, which means they pay you more. If they don't pay you more, then you go to another company to show what you've learned and what your value is to where you can get more. If they really don't like that, then you can go and start your own damn business because we have a free market, laissez-faire, capitalist society, allegedly, to where you can actually go off and do your own thing.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
It is that time of day again. Welcome into the program. The greatest time of the day, the greatest day of the entire week. Why? Because we are the eternal optimists, which means we are excited to rock and roll for another broadcast here on the radio waves. Welcome into a radio, TV, live streaming, and podcasting, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on our flagship radio station. We are all over the country. Your Millennial General doing the thing like we do every single day. Big show lined up for you today. So we were going to have two guests. One to kick off the program right out of the gate here. Not able to get a hold of him, but it's okay. We'll try and get him rescheduled. Jeff Winningham. He is a photographer and an author, and he has written his latest book, A Trail of Marvels. Yesterday was Halloween, obviously, so happy Halloween to you if everybody got to enjoy. I'll tell you our little quick story in just a minute. Yesterday was Halloween. Today is Day of the Dead in Mexican celebration. And we were going to have Jeff Winningham on as he did a book and took many photos regarding Day of the Dead celebrations in Mexico for the last few years and compiled a number of pictures and how they celebrate and their traditions and how cool it is. So we were going to talk about that coming up at the kickoff of the program. Not able to get a hold of Jeff. Maybe we'll get him on later on in the program if we have time to do so. If not, not a big deal. And happy Halloween to him. Bottom of the hour, we do have Jason Resendez. He is with Customers for Quality Care. They're doing a campaign right now for health literacy campaigns, getting people educated on health insurance for, enrollment period that's going into the fall season right now, and your rights, understanding healthcare, understanding ways to try and keep your healthcare debt relatively low. Kind of an important issue, especially with thanks to Obamacare, how disastrous our healthcare industry is right now, and how expensive healthcare has continued to climb, and how expensive healthcare will continue to climb as we go through the Biden years with inflation and the cost of everything going up and government intrusion and everything of the sort. So we'll get to that coming up in a little bit here with Jason right around the corner. There are a few things we need to talk about today, though, so welcome into the program and thanks for hanging out. We have some serious things, some not so serious things. Elon Musk has dropped his price to stay on Tweety, if that's what some decide to do, to $8 a month. Would you consider staying on Twitter for $8 a month, or would you be dropping that platform? We'll get to that here in just a bit. Right now, though, I think the big headline of the day.
What's trending today?
Outside of course, the ongoing Supreme Court hearings on affirmative action, which we did talk about a little bit yesterday. Interesting conversation there for sure, as the left all up in arms, man. All kinds of angry about the potential ending of affirmative action, what that means for universities and businesses across the nation, on how we select individuals might actually be chosen based on qualifications as opposed to your color of your skin. I know. That's a wild concept. Don't be talking such rationale here in the United States today, man. That's crazy talk. If you talk about qualifications as opposed to victimization and the equity that you have as a human being. Which I ask everybody on the other side of the aisle. First, when did we start using the term equity? Number two, who sets the equity for you? Because equity means value, essentially. You have certain value. Who decides that value? Because if it was me, everybody has unlimited amount of value. I love you all. You're all fantastic. Yes, even the crazy Democrats who hate my guts and send me nasty emails all the time. It's okay. I still love you to death. You all have wonderful equity. But according to the government, they decide the equity that bleeds into, a social credit score, that bleeds into how much they're actually going to loan you, that bleeds into what you're allowed to do in society, that bleeds into whether you're allowed to use public transportation or use a credit card or use a bank account, or whether you're going to get into a certain university or get a certain job. We need to have a social credit score based on your equity, and because of your skin color, you're already going to have a prerequisite number for your equity value, apparently. Welcome to the liberal socialist utopia. I don't want to go down that road today, but it's a fascinating conversation to the point where it's breaking my brain, the fact that we're even there in the first place. So, America, we've got a ways to go, don't we? Yeah, we got a ways to go. We are officially less than a week away from election time. The latest polls I've seen right now show that we are up 2 to 3 points on the national congressional races nationwide, with Republicans over Democrats, with the economy taking that number one slot, which it has been for a few weeks already. Not that big of a surprise, but the economy continues to be that cause for concern. Now, the Federal Reserve came out earlier today, according to CNBC, and according to the chairman, Jerome Powell, said that we need to raise interest rates yet again for the fifth time this year to continue to battle inflation. How that makes any sense, I'm not quite sure, because we've done it 4 times already this year, and inflation is still lingering at right around 9%. Meaning all we have to do is not worry about government spending, not worry about the government programs that are going out, not worrying about other issues that are of importance in this nation. No, we don't need to stop printing money and spending money. All we have to do, you dummies, how come you just didn't come to this conclusion as well, is just raise interest rates so high that it causes things to be more expensive, so that way you just don't want to buy things. So that way we can just price people out of the market, we can reset the market, and then hopefully later on down the road we can lower interest rates all over again. We're getting to the point of like the Jimmy Carter era under the Biden administration. Although that took a gradual amount of time over like 8 years, this one took 1.5 years for the Joe Biden administration to get to the point that we're at right now. So I guess congratulations, you've broken a record on how quickly you can screw up the economy right now with a 5th rising of interest rates and people loving and relishing in that one. Here's the kicker, though. And this is, I guess, according to our latest and What's Trending.
What's trending today?
Our What's Trending story of the day is according to CNBC as well. Job openings continue to surge for the month of September as well. Now, if you remember, under the Biden administration, they have tried and attempted to recover themselves on economic issues. It hasn't worked very well, but they've really, really tried. I mean, he is the master of the economy, right?
Since I came to office, that's what we've done. Historic vaccination efforts that saved lives, helped our economy recover from the lost jobs during the pandemic. 10 million jobs created.
Yeah.
A record for any administration at this point in the presidency.
10 million jobs created. Not the recovery from COVID-19, not the allowing people just to go back to work after COVID-19. No. They're brand new, created, never before seen jobs before, right? Is that true, I think?
You are fake news.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. That's a lie. A complete falsehood, but that's what they came out to do in their desperate attempt to win over people back on the number one political issue going into Election Day, winning the economic issues. Now, if they've created 10 million jobs, you would think creating 10 million brand spanking new, shiny, hot off the press, right out of the assembly line new jobs, that the assembly lines, by the way, aren't there anymore because you continue to destroy that economy. But nonetheless, those brand spanking new, shiny new jobs that are coming right off of the assembly line, you would think that there would be so many people working now that there would be no more jobs left over. I mean, how could we, in a year and a half, create 10 million jobs? Now, every month, on average, if you pay attention to economic issues at all, you see every month at the end, they talk about an unemployment rate. They talk about job growth. They talk about new jobs. And they're like, oh, yeah, we added to the workforce near 200. Usually, it's right around 250,000 jobs a month. If we lose jobs, if we gain jobs, it's right around that 100 to 200,000 mark every single month. Which, if you calculate that for 10 months, that would be 1 million jobs. We're looking at like 20 months because we're not quite in 2 years yet. So that would be roughly maybe 2 million jobs created if you had an average of 100,000 jobs created every single month. Maybe we could go for 2 million jobs. He says they've created 10 million. That means so many businesses grew and expanded so quickly that we created 10 million new slots that have never been there ever before in existence of the human U.S. consumer private sector job industry. I mean, that again, does that make any sense?
It is totally absurd.
No, of course not. No, of course not. Now, the jobs report that came out for the month of September shows that there are more job openings now than what was expected for the month of September. As according to CNBC, employment openings for the month totaled 10.72 million jobs, above the estimations of what they thought was going to be 9.85 million. So almost 1 million more jobs open right now than what they anticipated. What does that mean? That means the whole, we created 10 million jobs. They apparently created them, but they can't fill them. Is that what that means? They created the jobs, they just can't fill the jobs. Is that true? Is that what we're talking about now? We have so many jobs that we now apparently have one job available. We have, for every one worker, we have 1.9 jobs available if you break it down to a statistic, to an average. Almost 2 jobs available per worker that's out there. I throw out the question now, if that is truly the case, then why the hell do we have so many people on unemployment across the nation? If we have 2 jobs almost for every one person, then why do we have a vast number of individuals that aren't working or even paying taxes? The latest study as well shows that 40% of households across the nation pay no federal income tax for this year. 0. 40%. Now, that also means that while we're seeing record number of tax revenue go into the federal government, it's not the poor people that's picking up the pace. It is the evil rich people that are already paying more than their fair share, because the top 60% pay all of the federal income taxes in this nation. 40% of households don't pay them. Why? Because they don't make enough. And if there's 10 million jobs available in the nation, you would think that those that are sitting on unemployment not paying federal income taxes could easily get a job when there's 2 jobs available for every worker in the United States within that age range that's of working age and available to actually work in the workforce. These are bad numbers for the Biden administration. And while they try to spin it and say it's good news because the economy is growing, we're spending roughly the same amount as consumer spending overall, even with the high inflation, which blows my mind, because I'd say, screw that. I don't want to spend as much money or more money for the same amount of goods that I have. I'm going to find a way to cut my budget because my income hasn't grown. So why would my expenses just continue to grow without any issue? That seems to be a problem for me. Maybe not for other people, but at least for me, I have that problem to where I don't spend outside of my means because I'm somewhat financially responsible. I wasn't in the past, but I am now. At least I try to be. But with 40% of households, 40% of households across the nation not paying federal income tax, doesn't that mean there are plenty of opportunity for people to be getting more jobs? Now, what's the Biden administration doing in response to this? They are parading that the economy is doing well, even when it's not. And they're saying that we need to spend more money on more social programs. Their platform has not been, let's get people into the workforce to succeed and do well. Oh no, what has been their platform? Let's go ahead and bail out people with student loan debt. Let's go ahead and bail out the healthcare industry so that way we can lower quote unquote healthcare costs, which is not true. Let's go ahead and expand these social programs. Let's go ahead and spend more money at the federal level with federal programs. Let's go ahead and print more money so we can do things because according to Joe Biden, remember, it's not just giveaways, it's helping people because people want the government just to deal with their problems. Yes, he said that. Yes, he'll continue to say that because that's his mentality. He wants the government to take care of issues for the people.
Most people, the vast majority of Americans, are hoping that their government just takes care of their problem.
That's what we're up against here. We have an opportunity to do well in this nation, getting people back to work, which, by the way, creates economic growth for the businesses and for the workers, who then will be paying taxes. Well, then we'll see tax growth for the government and a spurring of the GDP, and all around would be good. But more jobs are available, and we're not trying to fill them right now because we have to expand more social programs.
Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Andy Hooser here, reminding you not only can you listen to the Voice of Reason on your favorite radio station, but also check out the video of the program on TV and online. We're excited to be working with our partners over at OpsLens to bring the Voice of Reason live every day on their website at opslens.com, on the OpsLens app that you can download on any of your smartphones, or on any of the OpsLens social media. It's a great network that broadcasts multiple shows promoting truth, reason, and common sense, reaching thousands of viewers every day, all day long. Plus, while you're there, you can always watch some of the best highlights of the show during the weekends or read our latest opinion columns on topical issues of the day. Also, if you want to interact with me during the program, just leave a comment on their social media or the OpsLens app stream. You can always join the live chat rooms, or if it's easier, just email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, that's HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. This is your show, and we want to hear from you. Why? Because it's time for you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You want some more reason throughout the day? Well, now it's easier than ever to find. Here's what you do. Check out the website at HooserReason.com. There you can find past shows, links to all of our social media, special features, our monthly blogs, and a heck of a lot more. Plus, make sure to check in frequently as we're constantly working to add more goodies that you'll really enjoy. Also, you can always subscribe and follow our social media sites for bonus content, articles that we use on the show, or maybe some additional rants. Yeah, it's all that and so much more. Check it all out at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more.
Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com.
For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
Bring some reason into your day. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Darn right it is. So we had 10 million open jobs for the month of September. Now, some of those may be getting filled here over the next couple months because of the holidays. Amazon has announced that they're doing their holiday hiring. So part-time jobs, trying to help out individuals, make a quick buck, make an extra buck, maybe for some holiday shopping, but working for Amazon, working for Macy's, other places that are doing some of their part-time holiday. And that may be part of what's going on here. In a lot of those positions, I am getting some messages, Andy, some of those are low income. Some of those are minimum wage. They're working retail for the dollar store, working retail for the costume store for Halloween, working as a bussing tables and waiters. But you know what? That's cool. Okay, I get it. Understand that. If you have an engineering degree and you got laid off as an engineer making $100,000, do you really want to be bussing tables? The next question is, if that's the only job out there right now until you get back on your feet, would you rather take that as opposed to the unemployment benefits? I guess that's a question to have, isn't it? I mean, we're also creating issues that aren't necessarily there. If there are 10 million jobs available in this nation right now, why in the world are we not having young adults that are trying to get into the workforce as an entry level for those jobs? A lot of them retail, a lot of them in the restaurant industry, a lot of them in the customer service industry. Why in the world are we not utilizing these young adults that are 17, 18, 19 years old, trying to make an extra buck for college, trying to get into the workforce to make a little money or just get work experience and build that work ethic? Why are we not utilizing this? The Biden administration's not talking about that. They could hit a slam dunk here. And I'm Democrats, I promise you, I'm giving you a tip right now. If you were smart, which I guess I don't need to go down that road. If Democrats were smart, being in control, dominating the dialogue right now, they could be creating a program. You don't even need to create a program, but that's what they love to do is, we're going to create a new agency because the government's going to handle this issue. They could be creating some type of program or some type of outreach or whatever to say we're going to get young kids into these entry-level positions. While we've raised at minimum wage, while we've fought for people to raise and get better jobs over the COVID pandemic, while people have left for better opportunities over the COVID-19 pandemic, it has left the industries of retail and of the restaurant industry and the entertainment industry with nightclubs and bars and venues. It's left them decimated trying to find workers, where most of them have to close for parts of the week because they don't have enough workers to stay open. Why have Democrats not come out and said, hey, let's go ahead and start a program to get these young kids into these industries, to get them work, to fill the positions, to create and stimulate economic growth, and to be able to solve the problem of young kids that are struggling to find work because our policies ruin that by raising minimum wage and businesses now not wanting to hire people that don't have any work experience for $20 an hour. What a concept, right? We could solve these issues, and Republicans, let's come out with that plan. Democrats haven't done it. Let's go ahead and do it. We could easily solve it. That way, when we say, hey, there are no jobs available because the economy is so damn good that they're all filled up. No one wants to sit on their butt and collect the unemployment check. No one wants to sit around and just pass it by. We want to go and work these jobs. And because of that, we expand. Then we could say, for truthfully, that we did create 1 million new jobs. because business was booming and expanding so nicely that we had to create a new store. We had to open up a second or third or fourth shop. We had to hire more people because we're so damn busy, because more people have money, therefore more people are buying goods and services, stimulating the economy, paying income tax, paying sales tax, and doing everything else. Right now, though, I guess the Democrats don't want that. I mean, the Federal Reserve's raising interest rates for a reason, because the economy is still too busy, and they want it to die off by canceling out half of the consumers so where you can't afford anything, so that way they can get things back on track because of supply chain issues and everything of such as well. It's a tricky double-edged sword, I guess, and they want the economy to slow down while saying the economy is doing very well. I find that hypocritical, but we have a very simple solution to solve the economic problem, and it doesn't involve the government. That's crazy talk, right? Doesn't involve the government. We'll shift gears when we come back. We'll talk about healthcare with Jason Resendez with Consumers for Quality Care. We'll do that right around the corner here on The Voice of Reason for a post-Monday celebration. Stay right here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own Voice of Reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media.
Welcome to the Hooser Media Network. It's been a long time coming, and now it's growing bigger and better than we ever imagined. The Hooser Media Network is so much more than just the Voice of Reason. It's a network for you as a listener and you as a podcaster. It's a network for any kind of talk on any kind of topic, bringing podcasters together to give you a new way to think about the world, and it's any type of show from entertainment to educational. Check out all of our great programs, like Dr. Devin Verana with If They Knew.
Yeah, and it gives you tangible tools. I mean, I'm sure she just mentioned that some people might be mad at the government. I just can't imagine.
No.
I think there's a little bit of anger in the world these days, but I was listening to Wayne Dyer this morning, and he said, if you grab an orange and you squeeze it, what comes out? Juice. What kind of juice? Orange juice every time, right? It's not going to be apple juice. It's never going to be mango juice. It's always going to be orange juice. So whatever is in us is going to come out when we're squeezed. And so I'm sure you're learning that, like, taking yourself through this process continually just adds more and more power, more and more depth of compassion and joy and freedom and all those good feeling things, because you're clearing that space out.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. Now take people, so for anybody listening out there that might have an object of anger, whether it's somebody or something or, you know, objects out in the world these days, take us into some tactical, practical things that they can do. Number one, I'm sure, is to come see you, but what are some other things?
So I skipped that one on purpose when I was going through this, but the first book that changed my life, and I listened to it before I signed up for the, I listened to her 1 hour Zoom before I signed up for the class. She was interviewing a man who told us about a book called The Four Agreements. And so then when you get into the class, we study the book called Forgive for Good by Fred Luskin. And we went through a process by Michael Brown called The Presence Process. These are all 3 books. And I hate to be this honest, but let me be this honest. You can read those 3 books and know everything I'm going to teach you. But like any good class, I mean, just because I signed up for a class in college, I buy the books. You really need someone to guide you through them.
That, plus tune into Spiritual Smorgasbord with Desiree and Cheyenne.
It is, and we talked about that because then, of course, other things started to happen after that. Of course, that was not my last doctor's visit, by no means. However, we talked about it, and I thought, our ancestors were so smart. They know, whatever ails us, there's a cure for on this planet. We're just not smart enough to know how to use it, but our ancestors were. We need to get back to that. Modern medicine, basically what that is it is what you get from the plant, the healing benefit, just on steroids with side effects.
Yes.
And so a lot of people, modern medicine is considered sexy. It's fast resolving. It's instant gratification. But, and so like plant-based formula, the raw, natural plant-based formula is what is going to work. It's going to be great. It just takes a while. And people want that instant gratification.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of people try
It's been marketed
something.
to them that way too.
It
They're like,
has.
oh, that's the old way. It's going to take you forever. But if you just take this, you wake up tomorrow and you can have whatever you want.
Exactly.
You can do whatever you want.
But at what cost?
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
my leg is broken, but have some Oxycontin.
Yes.
It's like, dude, your leg is still severely broken. You just can't feel anything.
Yeah. And it's like, so let's go to nature. Let's see.
Yeah.
You know what? There's pain relievers in nature. Marijuana is a great pain reliever.
Yes.
For one. I mean, just
mentally and physically.
Yes. Well, I mean, but there's other remedies out there. And everything that ails us, there's a cure for on this planet.
This whole room smells like peppermint.
We're all getting cured.
We're all
now.
getting cured right now. It's a beautiful essential oil I bought from a local, I guess you could say, apothecary shelf, but I'm getting healed right now.
Yes, exactly. It is. And it's all around us. We just need to know how to look for it. And I'm sorry, but that's kind of what we were discussing. And that kind of was what started this whole journey. And what I'm very fortunate that, my spouse and I are together on this. It's not just one of us having a spiritual journey. It's that we're doing this together.
Listen to those shows and so much more on our website, where you can find live streaming, links to the podcast, links to social media, more content, and so much more. It's all online at HooserMedia.com.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the program. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting, all over the place, baby. We're just having way too much fun, covering way too much ground, trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag, trying to rebrand the millennial generation one radio listener at a time. We're not just the Tide Pod eating millennials. I promise you. At least that's what we tell ourselves. Who knows? Welcome back in. By the way, if you have not signed up for our newsletter yet, be sure to do so. It's coming up here. I'm going to send it out a week from today. Usually I send it out on November 1st, or the first of the month. I'm going to send it out on Election Day next Tuesday. So if you're not signed up for the newsletter, please do. Totally free. Become a Hoosier-holic. Upgrade your life a little bit. Have some fun. Just go to the website, Hooser Reason, HOOSER, reason.com. Go ahead and sign up. It's totally free. You'll get our month-to-month email talking about the blog and what's going on with the radio show and with our Hooser Media Network and other podcast programs that we have, all the cool stuff that we have going on with the show and outside of it as well. So sign up. It's free again at HooserReason.com. All right, I want to shift gears. We have our economic issues that we've been talking about. 40% of households not paying income tax in the country, and 10 million jobs that are sitting there floating available, as the Biden administration says that we've created like 10 million jobs since he's been in office. Okay, so I want to shift gears from that. We'll get back to it here in just a little bit. But another major issue being talked about a little bit, I guess, on the campaign trail, but it is about that time of year for us to focus some attention on it, is healthcare. In our latest.
What's trending today?
And really happy to have on the program as they are pushing their health literacy campaign. Are you aware of the options that you have while health insurance continues to skyrocket in price, and your premiums and your deductibles, and it gets more and more complicated as you go on? Are you aware of some of the options, and are you aware of some of the literacy going on for the healthcare industry and understanding the industry overall with Consumers for Quality Care? Excited to have on the program with us here, Mr. Jason Resendez. Jason, how are you, my friend?
Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on the program. Right now, first off, how many insurance companies are there right now across the country, and are people aware of a lot of the options that they have? Because personally, for me, I don't know if I have a lot of options either.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly why we're doing this campaign right now during Health Literacy Month, but also the start of open enrollment. It's really important time to be thinking about what those options are and to do that work, because there are consequences when it comes to the decisions we make around selecting healthcare, right? One of those consequences is medical debt. 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. have medical debt, and medical debt is the largest source of debt in collections, right? Outshadowing even credit cards. And so really important right now to think about how can you avoid some of those pitfalls like medical debt or things like surprise bills, right? Nearly 3 in 4 voters are very concerned with healthcare costs, ranking them above things like housing, childcare costs, et cetera. And surprise bills are a big thing that contribute to those healthcare costs. We've seen even after legislation has been passed to address surprise billing, 20% of patients have received a surprise bill. So this really is an important time to be thinking about how you can avoid some of these pitfalls to make sure that you are not crushed by medical debt and can kind of suit those surprise bills.
That's a great point. I've said the story many times on this program, but my wife and I filed for medical bankruptcy just probably 5 years ago now, 4 years ago now, because of the debt that we racked up with the system, and it was devastating. Luckily now, thank God, we don't have any medical debt, and we make sure that we try and stay on top of those issues when they do arise. But it is a major issue for so many individuals. So talk about some of those options and talk about some of the tips that we can try to avoid the surprise bill or that massively overbearing debt that many people face every day.
Yeah, so from a surprise billing perspective, I think one of the most important things that you can do is really think of yourself as a consumer, right? So as much as you can, plan ahead, which is not always possible, especially if you are in a emergency situation. But if you're planning routine care, make sure that you're thinking about what network you have, what if our providers that you're seeing, hospitals that you're going to, sites of care, are they within your network? And that's one really important way to avoid surprise bills. But that doesn't always, solve it, right? We see a lot, like I said, 20% of patients are still receiving surprise bills, despite the fact that this has been legislated by Congress to address the issue. So one of the things you can do is make sure that you are being aware of any surprise bills that you might get and contact either your state insurance commissioner or file a complaint with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So I think that's one way to help avoid surprise bills. Be aware of that network and then make sure you raise hell if you get struck with one. But then in terms of decision making, right now is a really important time in terms of decisions. So one of the things that we are cautioning folks against is our short-term limited duration insurance plan. So as you're out there shopping around for coverage and thinking about things to avoid, definitely want to avoid short-term limited duration insurance plans. These are basically junk plans, that's what we call them. They often exclude coverage on pre-existing conditions, including conditions an individual did not know they had or were not aware of, required medical intervention. They look good on paper because they have low monthly deductibles, but oftentimes you get hit with a big bill because a lot of basic services aren't covered as part of short-term limited duration insurance plans. These are really meant as to be Band-Aids. If you leave a job, your COBRA runs out, you need something to get you to the next job and the next employer-provided insurance, you could sign up for one of these short-term limitation plans. But now, because the regulations are so lax, they've been able to be extended and people are relying on them as their primary form of insurance, which oftentimes results in big bills at the end of the day. So really caution folks against signing up for short-term limited duration plans. Another thing to watch out for are copay accumulator adjustment programs. Many Americans, those particularly with chronic diseases, rely on medicines to manage their conditions, but what a copay accumulator adjustment program does, it means that insurers are no longer allowed drug cost sharing coupons to count towards your deductibles or caps on total out-of-pocket costs. So really be aware whether you're not in your insurance, your insurer is integrating copay accumulator adjustment programs into your plan. This is particularly important, if you are have a prescription that you need to fill on a regular basis. Really watch out for these copay accumulator adjustment programs.
Wow, there's a lot of things to look out for sure. There's a lot of little side projects to where you could sign up for that could potentially hurt you more then it helps you at the end of the day. For states that have expanded Medicaid coverage, for example, has that been beneficial for individuals in those states as well, or is that a cause for concern or a red flag as well?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, expansion of Medicaid in states has really been a boon in terms of getting basic coverage to as many people as possible. I think the concern there is that you have a lot of states who are not expanding that coverage. So that's where those issues and those short-term limited duration plans become that much more attractive, right? Because you have folks who are trying to manage costs, get cheap plans. So without Medicaid expansion in certain states, you have these plans that are proliferating. A lot of states have actually outlawed short-term limited duration insurance plans. So you have some states taking action, but certainly we need to see more states expanding Medicaid to provide more low-cost options for consumers.
Yeah, we got a couple of minutes left here. We're talking with Jason Resendez with Consumers for Quality Care. You can find them, consumers, the number 4, qualitycare.org. Find all their information there as well. Are there's a movement that we're seeing with some local family clinics, and it started here in the Wichita area where I'm based out of. It started with a lot of them that are going towards like membership plans and private membership plans as opposed to accepting insurance because of the price of insurance. Is that a growing trend do you see across the nation, and is that a viable option for some as well, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you got to really watch out for some of these plans. I mean, they're very similar to short-term health plans, short-term limited duration plans. There are these things called ministry share plans, sharing ministries, which aren't insurance, right? So a lot of times these plans look good on paper. They serve a purpose in terms of getting folks to sign up because of the situations they might be in, but oftentimes they don't cover a lot of the basic services that people need when they're in emergency situations or when they're having surgery or interacting with the healthcare system. So really important to watch out for these plans, and also take the opportunity during open enrollment to understand if you maybe qualify for a subsidy, you didn't qualify for the last open enrollment period. Subsidies have changed. You might be surprised you qualify for a bigger subsidy this year than you did last year. So really take advantage of the open enrollment period to look at what options are available to you from a subsidy perspective, but then also a plan perspective. There's always new options coming on to the exchange. So there might be a better fit for you and your family compared to one of these short-term limited duration plans or one of these sharing ministry plans.
Sure, absolutely. We got just about a minute left here before we have to take our hard break and kind of wrap things up. But on the prescription side of things, I know prescriptions have gone up in price as well. What do you recommend for options for individuals to be able to afford their medication?
Yeah, I mean, this is why it really is important to watch out for those copay accumulator adjustment programs, which help folks afford their prescriptions by being able to apply a manufacturer coupon at the pharmacy counter. We're also now in a post-Inflation Reduction Act. So if you are within the Medicare program, for example, and need a prescription like insulin, now those out-of-pocket costs are capped for insulin. And out-of-pocket costs are capped more broadly in Part D. So there's, I think, a lot more options now in terms of prescription affordability than we've ever seen before.
There it is. Jason Resendez, Consumers for Quality Care. Consumers, the number 4, qualitycare.org. Go and check those guys out for all the information they have and try and find the best options that you have for you. Jason, we appreciate the time very much, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Hey, appreciate that. All right, we'll take a break. We got one more segment right around the corner here to wrap up the show today for a post-Monday celebration here on The Voice of Reason. Lots more coming up. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Andy Hooser here, reminding you not only can you listen to The Voice of Reason on your favorite radio station, but also check out the video of the program on TV and online. We're excited to be working with our partners over at OpsLens to bring The Voice of Reason live every day on their website at opslens.com, on the OpsLens app that you can download on any of your smartphones, or on any of the OpsLens social media. It's a great network that broadcasts multiple shows promoting truth, reason, and common sense, reaching thousands of viewers every day, all day long. Plus, while you're there, you can always watch some of the best highlights of the show during the weekends
or read our latest opinion columns on topical issues of the day. Also, if you want to interact with me during the program, just leave a comment on their social media or the OpsLens app stream. You can always join the live chat rooms, or if it's easier, just email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, that's HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. This is your show, and we want to hear from you. Why? Because it's time for you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You want some more reason throughout the day? Well, now it's easier than ever to find. Here's what you do. Check out the website at HooserReason.com. There you can find past shows, links to all of our social media, special features, our monthly blogs, and a heck of a lot more. Plus, make sure to check in frequently, as we're constantly working to add more goodies that you'll really enjoy. Also, you can always subscribe and follow our social media sites for bonus content, articles that we use on the show, or maybe some additional rants. Yeah, it's all that and so much more. Check it all out at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. As we continue to grow as a radio and TV program, we're continuously working behind the scenes to try and bring more common sense and reason to more patriotic Americans all over the country. That's why we're super excited to be working with the OpsLens team to bring you the voice of reason every single day. OpsLens is a national online network bringing you incredible content all day from hosts all over the country. And each host brings their own unique experience and expertise to the current events, reaching hundreds of thousands of patriotic Americans daily. Make sure to check out their website at opslens.com. Make sure to download the OpsLens website and follow them on all of these social media sites that you like, so you can watch all their live streaming content, including ours right here with the Voice of Reason. Plus, if you want more of the Voice of Reason, check out our website online at HooserReason.com. There you can listen to the live audio feed of the show every single day. You can read our monthly blog. You can check out our satire infomercials. You can see pictures of what we're doing, upcoming schedule of events, and a heck of a lot more. On the website, you can find our list of radio and TV affiliates in your area. Find our social media links, and while you're there, sign up for our free newsletter. Over the last 2 years, your Voice of Reason newsletter has grown exponentially. It's completely free, and in it we give you your monthly motivation, upcoming civic holidays for the month, a recap from the show from last month, upcoming guests on the program, along with the latest news from our Hooser Media Network. It's pretty simple. All you got to do is go to the website at HooserReason.com and become the next Hooserholic. Finally, follow us on all of our social media sites. With the iron grip control on content from the radical left, unless you follow us, you're not going to be able to see us. It's been an ongoing battle with shadow banning on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, where even our own fans are having a hard time finding our content. But the battle isn't over. We'll continue to bring you the best content we can on as many platforms as possible. You can follow us with the handle at Hooser Reason. No matter what social media site you like to use, you can find us there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch.tv, Instagram, TikTok, OurFreedomBook.com, Parler, and of course our website at HooserReason.com. Don't miss it while we give you a heads up on some of the events that I may be attending or speaking at, updates of behind-the-scene projects, or just something sarcastic to try and rile up the left. The battle for freedom is real, and we want to be part of that battle, as we want you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Conservative principles happen at the grassroots level, and that's what we're here to help with. And together, you and I can fight back against this virus that's spreading across the nation that is socialist policy, trying to destroy this country. We can bring us back to some constitutional values, some individual sovereignty, and the right for you to be able to make your own choices when you deem necessary for you, your family, and your community. In a world of fake news and information overload, it's time to bring back some reason, common sense, guidance, and a little bit of wisdom. And that's what we're here to do. This is the Voice of Reason.
Fighting for freedom every day. The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the program. Last few minutes of the show. Wrap it up for a post-Monday celebration, the Day of the Dead. a post-Halloween as well, and the beginning of November. Can you believe it? We are in November now. November of 2022. We are almost into 2023. That should just shake you to the core with how fast things have been going. Thanks again to Jason Resendez coming on the program. Consumers for Quality Care. Consumers number 4 qualitycare.org if you want to check those guys out. If you mentioned a few interesting things, and I don't know if you quite understood the question. Maybe I didn't ask it properly. But I was curious about the privatized memberships for health clinics. There are a few of them. Actually, a lot of them have started here in the Wichita area that has made national news on national talk shows. They've talked to them because people are getting away from healthcare. Healthcare, can I just my humble opinion here, call me the conspiracy theorist, put the tinfoil hat on me for just a second. I'm very well aware of what I'm about to say, and it's going to shake people to the core. The healthcare industry is an entire complete scam. Can we just... entirely complete scam. Entirely complete scam. You have to pay a premium every month for when you're not sick to when you actually get sick. Then you have to go and cover a deductible to a certain level before the healthcare even starts to kick in to cover your health issues. Then they only start covering a certain amount of it or up to a certain cap, and then you still have to pay out of pocket. And then they say that your specialist that you have to go to because you're really, really sick isn't covered by the healthcare industry and the healthcare insurance plan that you have. So then you have to pay more out of pocket, and then the prescriptions are then still expensive above that. All of it, which near 80% of the health issues today could be solved by dietary and exercise problems in this nation. Yes, I said that. Everybody in their kitchen sink has some type of heart disease issue in this country. And guess what? Heart disease issues wouldn't be a thing if, we didn't eat plastic all the time. And with how bad the quality of food is and how bad the FDA has screwed up on what you're allowed and not allowed to eat in this nation. And then they try and demonize the local grower that tries to grow things in their backyard, and you have to have some kind of license to sell it. That's my personal beef. I despise the healthcare industry. Yes, I've had a bad taste in my mouth from the healthcare industry overall, having to file medical bankruptcy a few years ago because of the lupus issues with Mrs. Voice of Reason. But guess what? Since that time, and this should be encouraging because it's not just a down and depressing story. Since that time, we filed bankruptcy in, what was it? Trying to remember. Yeah, we left here in 2019. So that was 2017, I believe. We filed medical bankruptcy. 2017, maybe 2018, but I think it was 2017. We filed medical bankruptcy. Since then, we have not had a single bit of medical debt. Because at that time, when my wife was almost on her deathbed with her lupus, with a kidney stone that blocked things up that caused sepsis in her body, where the doctors did not know how to remove the stone without allowing the infection to spread through her entire body, and she was not responding to antibiotics at the time, and they weren't sure how to stop her from dying at that point. We took it upon ourselves. We took the matter into our own hands, and we said, never again. Never again are we going to rely on doctors to do something that we need to figure out on our own. Health. Now, obviously, you can't do that with everything. Cancer. Sorry, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. You can't do that with every issue. Obviously, I'm not trying to do this as a blanket decision. However, there are many, many cases, majoritively, I would say, in this nation where we could handle our medical issues on our own. Based on dietary issues, based on exercise issues, based on personal health issues and personal health choices, and based on not going to a doctor for a pill that's going to be the end-all be-all, but doing it ourselves. And I'm just throwing it out there. And if we did that in this nation, the healthcare industry would become obsolete because we would need a tiny clinic as opposed to 5 healthcare hospitals, massive hospitals in a city. We could do these things. And I despise the healthcare industry. So signing up for healthcare is a good thing. Having insurance is a good thing. I don't think Jason quite understood the question I had with the privatized industries, because now with how bad the insurance policies are, many clinics, mom and pop clinics, the family physicians are doing, hey, pay us a monthly membership. You get to see us an unlimited amount of times if you have an issue. We can write prescriptions for you. We do your checkups to make sure you're all good. We can refer you to the specialist that you need, and you don't have to pay the insurance. All you have to do is just pay a monthly membership, and you're taken care of. That is going to be the future of the healthcare industry, because insurance companies, to hell with you. To hell with you. You're not going to raise my premiums, raise my deductibles, cover less, and then expect me to grovel back at you to sign up for you year after year. To hell with you. I'm over it. We're taking the issue back into our own hands because that's what we do in the private sector. And as Americans who figure things out because we American, we don't Americans. That's my speech for the day. Back at it tomorrow. Podcast up in just a little bit. We're at it for the middle of the week on a Wednesday. Until then, be your own voice of reason. It's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. This is the Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser. We'll see you on the radio. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own voice of reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts,